Basic features of smartphones in the market. A. The most defining feature of smartphones is email. Users now have access to both corporate and personal email. Lotus Notes or Microsoft's Exchange Active Sync protocol handle corporate email by pushing email, calendar, contact and to-do items on your phone within a couple of seconds of their arrival to the company's server. B. A strong focus for smartphones is media capabilities. A media player is preloaded on the mobile phone. Some smartphones focus on online media where the basic music player is combined with an integrated Amazon MP3. This allows the customer to buy songs over the air. C. Every smartphone has a mobile app store that allows total beginners to download, install, and remove apps. Everything from looking up the latest news to displaying animated cartoons can be done by the use of apps. D. Each phone has a specific operating system. This is the foundation upon which all the phone's software is built. The operating system is preloaded, so you can't choose a different system for your phone than the one that is preloaded. E. A camera is now an integral part of the smartphone. No more carrying around a separate camera, since on some phones they are nearly as good as digital cameras. F. Storage capacity of smartphones has been increased to store photos, music, and videos. Memory cards are used to expand the phone's storage as well as to enable easy content transfer between two phones, bypassing a computer. G. A phone without a battery is of no use. Phone batteries have a limited number of charge and discharge cycles. Being tiny laptops, smartphones draw a lot of battery power. The average talk time that is provided by a typical smartphone is 5 hours, but could be less when you play media and games. Using the smartphone as a learning tool. Smartphones are amazing tools, not toys, and so many kids are carrying them around on a daily basis. What makes the smartphone such a powerful learning tool is mobility, and it allows the parents to encourage anywhere, anytime learning. Teachers have found creative ways to use smartphones as educational tools. Students can use the camera to take pictures or videos. They could take videos of their lab experiments. This gives students the opportunity to review their experiment and to improve it. Use the built-in microphone to record interviews. The voice recorder can help the student to remember homework assignments, memorize terms and practice foreign language pronunciation. Use the browser to perform research. The smartphone provides so much information, which includes science textbooks, which are online. If they have a question, they can easily look up the answer by using the internet. Use the keyboard to jot down their notes anytime, anywhere. Use Google information to add to class discussions. Google is also accessible by text message. Students could send a message to Google to define a word and receive a list of definitions. Use it in chemistry classes as it helps out with the periodic table when looking at atomic mass. Use the smartphone as a calculator in algebra, algebra 2 and geometry, or watch math videos. Use the phones to do their homework on the go and to communicate with teachers. Use the built-in contacts, address function as a vocabulary study list. Students enter the words in the notes section of the contact and enter the definition of the word. They then create a group for each separate list, which makes it easy to keep them organized. Students can quiz themselves on the meaning and then tap the word to find the definition. According to the Campus Technology article, smartphones today have the computing power of a mid-1990s computer. For such a tiny device, it is a lot of power. As a learning tool, the smartphone could be utilized more, because they are here to stay. Social media goes mobile with smartphone. Social networks such as Facebook and Twitter are determining new forms of social interaction, dialogue, exchange and collaboration. These sites enable users to swap ideas, to post updates and comments. Social media are helping people to follow breaking news and keep up with friends. A new report from Comscore shows that both Facebook and Twitter users spend more time using these networks on mobile devices than they do on traditional computers or laptops, which leaves no doubt that the future of social networking is mobile. Analysis done by Comscore indicates Facebook and Twitter are among the largest social networks, and both brands have developed a growing mobile audience. As more and more people can afford smartphones and mobile broadband, due to lower costs, the popularity of social media, particularly Twitter and Facebook, has shot up dramatically. This sets the path for changing the way we live, how we work and how we communicate. The success of a networking site such as Facebook or Twitter, or even Google+ is easily determined by its accessibility. If users can't access a social network via mobile with a half-decent experience, is doomed for failure. Increased accessibility to social networks on smartphones could, however, bring about more stress. A study by a psychologist, Richard Balding, demonstrated a link between compulsive behaviors and increased smartphone use. According to Balding, it is very likely to see an associated increase in stress from social networking, as smartphone use is increasing. He encourages people to take a break from being connected all the time. There could be a risk that stress and tension that builds up from being engaged all the time could have a negative impact on relationships. Another sign of using the smartphone to access social media is the storing of every personal detail on a single device. With some basic social engineering skills, people's dependence on social media can be exploited. Smartphones are designed for sharing, but be selective with what you choose to share. Free calls with VoIP smartphone apps. VoIP is an acronym that stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. This form of technology allows someone to make free or cheap calls using their smartphones, but instead of using the mobile operator network, they place the call over the Internet. The advantage of VoIP technology is that it is cheaper to transmit any calls or text messages via the Internet, since transmitting data via the Internet is cheaper than to use satellite services or normal phone lines. This allows VoIP providers to offer previously expensive services at a much cheaper rate than traditional phone operators. To use VoIP on your smartphone, you should have access to Internet either by connecting to Wi-Fi network or the data network of the mobile operator. You would need at least a monthly data plan of around 4 to 5 gigabytes, since VoIP technology uses a lot of traffic. You would also be required to have a mobile VoIP app installed on your phone. There are several specialist companies that have developed software and technology that allows it to be used without expensive hardware. Some of the most popular are: Skype allows free conversations and texts between users via handsets and personal computers. Vonage offer VoIP calls to their customers via existing broadband connections, through PC or smartphones. Retel also offer a complete range of VoIP services, and in addition they offer a range of apps freely downloadable from their site for Android, BlackBerry and iPhone. To make VoIP calls you would have to register with one of the companies above. After adding your friends or family to your contact list, they would have to install the same provider as you on their phones. As soon as they are registered, you are able to make calls in the same way as you would be using traditional means. Mobile VoIP technology is one of the most useful smartphone features that allows users to make free or at least cheap calls. Gaming with your smartphone. More and more people are giving up on pricey portable gaming systems and replacing them with casual gaming on their smartphones. With this in mind, many big-name games and developers are making great titles for smartphones. Thanks to smartphone technology, it is now possible to have a phone and a handheld gaming console, all in one. In addition to practical tools like calculators, map applications and GPS, smartphones also have the ability to support third-party or browser-based programs that can perform a variety of specific functions. These applications allow users to customize their smartphones to support their lifestyles. There are apps for fitness, cooking, organization, finances, news, games, social networking, education and many more. Software on today's phones, both the built-in features and the apps we install, can make them more functional as phones in addition to all the other functions. How can you make the phone part of your smartphone work better for you? Block unwanted calls. You can install an app to block unwanted calls for only a small one-time price. One such app is called Guard for Android 2.0 and above, which will block both voice calls and SMS text messages from specified numbers. Manage your call log. Call Log Manager Pro can log calls to your calendar, and it logs your group calls not just by the usual types, but also by date, by contact, or according to custom filters you create yourself. It also gives you detailed information about the calls. Talking Caller ID. The Caller ID app can be very useful. It will speak the name or number of the incoming call so you don't have to look at your phone to find out who is calling. Google Voice. One of the most useful apps you can get for making the phone calling experience better on your smartphone is Google Voice for mobile. You can make calls and send text messages from your Google Voice number, and it integrates with your Google Contacts and your phone's address book. Google Voice also has the ability to transcribe voicemail messages to email transcriptions, which could be helpful if you're in a meeting and don't want to listen to the message. Google Voice could also save you money, since you could make lower-cost calls to international destinations than what your carrier charges. Applications are developed for personal and professional use and are intended to make life easier. For further help regarding your smartphones, send an email to support@hostaleonard.com. For website designing, hosting, domain registration, send an email to info@hostaleonard.com.